Hey guys, it's me, Big Jack 24 here. Today, yes, I am back from my family Thanksgiving, which was pretty good. Good, actually, not gonna lie. But today we're going to be reacting to the 100 Hours War by OverSimplified. In case you don't know what the 100 Hours War is, it might go by a different name that might be a little bit more popular. It's known as the Football War. And it's between El Salvador and Honduras. And all the copyright and animation rights and all the music rights belong to their respective owners. All the copyright belongs to Oversimplified. Anyways, let's begin this reaction. I don't want to keep anyone owning up, but I'm glad to see that, that I'm back in the YouTube business. And I would still have to worry about comment, but I'm going to forget all about that now. Anyways, let's begin.
Quick, you have 2 seconds to name these two countries.
Alright, I got this. I know this is El Salvador and this is Honduras, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure it's either this one or this one for El Salvador. No, I know this one's El Salvador. Not this could be Honduras or this could be Honduras. I don't want to keep this up.
You're wrong, unless you got it right. Then good job. They are, of course, Honduras and El Salvador. One thing these two countries have in common is being fanatic about football. Or if you're a freedom-loving patriot, soccer.
This applies to Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, and what once was Great Britain, well, during Brexit, and also that they switched back to football. But just to make it more clear, if you're an American, this is technically soccer. Soccer. If you're not an American, then this is football. It gets confusing.
Do they love it so much they would go to war over it? You bet they would, and that is no bueno. If you look at these two countries, you might notice one major difference, and that is that this one is a lot bigger than this one.
True.
However, this one had a larger population than this one, made up mostly of farmers, and there wasn't enough land for them to live and work on. So they started moving from El Salvador to Honduras in search of land, and by the
Or they could have just done a simple thing. They could have just, I don't know, like claimed this area of land right here, or maybe asked and signed a treaty with Honduras, maybe get a tiny bit more of their land. So that way they got away on how to give their population some room. Or they could have just legally got themselves documented and going in there.
1960s, a huge number of illegal immigrants.
Yeah, that is a humongous number of immigrants. Like if you live in the US, 300,000 is not a lot. If you live in a small country and you're moving to a slightly smaller country, but yet it's still larger than your country, then I guess it would be a lot. But I don't really know that much about population charts and stuff, so
Had crossed over the border from El Salvador. Meanwhile, in Honduras, it's 1963, and this guy has just staged a military coup to prevent the rise of communism.
oh yeah, Cuba. I need to ask you a question. Don't get this the wrong way, but why do you look like a vacuum cleaner? And also, how come you're still not how come you're still not no wait, you still are communist. But I actually wonder, how's that actually turning up for you? For you? We definitely beat we almost invaded you right in the Cold War. We almost did. Well, that was before we were saved by Khrushchev, who removed nuclear bombs out of Cuba. Well, we did the same for Turkey. It was scary.
Is now the military leader of the country. He immediately began harassing the peasants' unions and other left-wing groups, but he's a little insecure about the legitimacy of his leadership. So he holds an election and wins, but then the opposing party says, hey man, that election was clearly corrupt and fraudulent, and also you've been bribed by the rich American banana company.
Yep, we have banana companies that really do give us great bananas.
Who are taking all of our bananas tax-free, and now our economy is in ruins, and everyone started to get
Yeah, when you have a place that's getting corrupt, best solution ever is to get rid of the corruption by I don't know, inviting all of the people who rule over an area with the corruption, have them in, set off a bomb, get out of the room, and detonate the bomb, and voila. Now your corruption dealers are now leaderless, meaning you have an ideal time to shine and pretty much go take out the corruption and live happily with your country and make sure to also invest in the very good stocks so that way that wouldn't happen again.
Now, if you ever find yourself the barely legitimate military leader of a corrupt Central American country and you start getting into hot water, here's a bit of advice that has been tried and tested throughout the centuries.
Let me guess. Is it using a scapegoat?
Blame something else.
Oh my goodness, it is a scapegoat.
He blamed the Salvadoran immigrants for stealing all the land and all the jobs and ruining Honduras. The immigrants found themselves under attack by the hostile locals. Egged on by the rich American banana companies who wanted all the bananas to themselves, the Honduran government
Yes, we do need bananas. Bananas. That is something that we actually do need.
began evicting Salvadoran immigrants who had been living on the land for generations and started sending them back to El Salvador. The
Oh no, that ain't good.
Salvadoran elite were furious and protested, citing moral reasons, but in reality, they were just getting a little too crowded. So tensions were about as high as they could be.
Oh no, I know that sound anywhere.
And
I'm going to ruin this moment. Soccer. No wait, I mean American soccer. What? Oh no. That took a dark turn. First you see this happy moment. Then it goes into that, which that is scary. Then it goes to show you what happened there, and goes to show you that they even got the police force.
it's the 1970 World Cup qualifiers, and both countries finished top of their qualifying table, so it was now time for them to play against each other in a series of matches. The first
Oh no, this ain't good.
took place in Honduras. The night before the game, Hondurans gathered outside the Salvadoran team's hotel, making noise and taunting them. The next
Oh my goodness. These guys are large cheaters. Cheaters. That is not good. If you make loud noise at night, you're technically cheating for your country to win. This ain't good.
Honduras defeated the exhausted Salvadorans with a late 90th minute goal. After the match, a young Salvadoran fan, unable to bear her country's defeat, shot herself.
Oh my god, oh my god, that is really all of that just over your country losing a football match. This is confusing. Why would you kill yourself self if your team lost in a series out of 3 games and they've only played one so far? They lost that one. They still got, I don't know, 2 more chances. You already killed yourself because of it. Oh, Jesus, that is dark. It is dark, creepy, and odd. Odd. I'll explain why it's creepy. It's creepy that she would do it, that she did it because her country lost. It's just creepy. Like and it's also creepy to know who obsesses over football so much that they would go in and they would kill themselves when their country loses. This is sad.
Disturbingly, the Salvadoran government glorified the incident and made her into a national hero.
This is even more crazy. Oh wait, hold on. Filter text. This is filter text. I'm going to copy and paste it in a second. Okay, here we go. No, wait. Hold on. Oh, wait. You just copied and pasted it. That's my bad.
The next game, fans brought pictures of her to the stadium. Emotions were running high as the next match took place in El Salvador, and this time the tables were turned. The Hondurans had
Oh, no, not this again. It's still technically cheating.
a sleepless night in their hotel, and the next day, before the match started, instead of the Honduran flag, the Salvadorans raised a dirty rag. So
Oh my goodness, this is even more of an insult. If you can't raise your opponent's flag, but instead places what he said, a dirty rag, you're going to be angry. I mean, look here. Look here. So I'm just going to explain a couple of things. So imagine if you're Russian, and you're playing against the Dutch, and then the Dutch don't raise your flag, but instead raise the second one of their flags, and you're going to be angry because you don't see your flag anywhere. Also, it's just an insult to a country.
Job at reducing tensions, El Salvador won decisively over the exhausted Hondurans. While spectators battled in the stands, Team Honduras
Oh no. Spectators are fighting. You know something's gone wrong with your sport.
fled home in a bulletproof bus with rocks being thrown at them, and the Honduran coach reportedly told his players that they were lucky they lost.
What? No, should I be worried that if people are throwing rocks at a bulletproof bus, and the coach tells them that they're lucky that they've lost? I guess it makes sense, but if they won, then that would have been even worse.
After the defeat, Hondurans began terrorizing the Salvadoran settlers even more, in some cases reportedly throwing them off their land and burning down their homes, and the immigrants
Oh my goodness, that is not good. If you burn down their homes, throw them out of their land, then who's technically the monster that they are fighting? It's you, not them. Not them, it's you.
began fleeing back to El Salvador. The final game in Mexico would decide who went to the World Cup. It was close, but El Salvador came out victorious, knocking Honduras out of the tournament. The atmosphere is riotous, literally, and back in Honduras,
Oh no, this ain't good, and if my senses know, if my oversimplified senses know that sound, that means a war is about to happen.
attacks on the Salvadoran immigrants further increased. This was too much for El Salvador to bear. With its people under attack and an unmanageable refugee crisis on its hands, El Salvador severed all diplomatic ties with Honduras and declared war.
Yup, this is how most wars start. Alright, the people of the country is not happy, their neighboring country does something to upset the people, and the people go to war.
The football war is also known as the 100 Hours War because
True?
that's how long it lasted, making it one of the shortest wars in history.
Oh wow, this is one of the shortest wars. Wonder if there was an even shorter war. Wonder if there's a 1 hour war. If there was, I would love to know it.
El Salvador started by carrying out air raids on strategic locations within Honduras, including Toncontin International Airport, which prevented the Honduran Air Force from getting into the sky.
I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a brilliant idea, because if you take out their air force before that they can set off, they're pretty much easily not able to defend themselves from the sky, which is what the Japanese tried to do at Midway, but they got a little cocky in trying to kill almost any well hanging plane. They were too gory hunting that they didn't even notice that there was actually American dive bombers literally falling down and literally bombing their own carriers. I mean, they had the right idea, but they weren't in the right place.
Then, with their superior army, they began an invasion along two major roads, complete with light tanks and infantry. Their advance was rapid, and they were quickly approaching the Honduran capital. Then, the Organization of American States met in a bit of a panic and unanimously agreed that war between El Salvador and Honduras would.
Oh no. Hold on. Let me see. I know this is US, I know this is Mexico, I know that's Brazil. I know that's Argentina. Alright. Alright. That Uruguay? No, I'm not gonna guess on. I really don't know that many different flags.
Bad thing and probably shouldn't continue. So they went to El Salvador and said, "Can you please stop invading?" And El Salvador declared, "Not until they stop being jerks," and so the war went on.
Day 3, this is about 72 hours.
The Honduran Air Force finally got into the sky, and with aid from neighboring Nicaragua, they successfully carried out air raids on Salvadoran air bases and oil facilities, crippling the Salvadoran supply line and stopping their advance dead.
Day 4, which I would. 72 hours. This is about 96 hours.
Caught in a bit of a stalemate, the situation was no longer advantageous to El Salvador, so when the Organization of American States once again asked them to stop and agreed to ensure the safety of the Salvadoran immigrants, El Salvador relented, and a ceasefire was organized on the 18th of July. Then the OAS said, "Can you now please withdraw your troops from Honduras? No, please, no, please, no, please, no. Do it or we'll sanction you."
Alright. Yeah, that is a scary, scary thing.
You know what? Just for you, I'll do it. So
And that's actually the truth.
Salvador pulled its troops out of Honduras on the 2nd of August, and with casualties in the thousands, the war
I mean, at least it's not in the millions, but I mean, that is technically the 100 hours war.
was over. The economies of both nations were damaged by the war, and El Salvador didn't have the capability to take care of all the returning immigrants, a crisis that eventually helped cause a civil war. The war left behind land and border disputes, some of which are still a cause of tension to this day. El Salvador went on to play in the World Cup, but lost every match they played and didn't make it.
Oh my goodness. So they lost. They lost to Belgium. They lost to Mexico. I'm not surprised about the Soviet Union, but I'm surprised to see that the Soviet Union's got the lowest score out of all of them. I mean, I bet the steroids were getting to them too much.
The group stage. So in the end, nobody achieved anything, and there were no winners. Except for this guy.
Surprisingly, that's the truth. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Make sure to subscribe. Remember, this is a second mini wars video. The third one that we watched was, I believe, the emu war, and the fourth one was the war that changed the English language, which was the Battle of Hastings. And then we're going to have to go and review the Falkland War. But later in the summer, we are going to be reacting to what do you call it? The Cold War. The Cold War, and I'm going to expand more on that. And then later in the year 2020, we'll be reacting to World War Two, both parts, and then to actually a certain guy with a certain mustache, part one and part two. Anyways, that is it. If you guys remember, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm tired and while doing this. All the copyright does belong to OverSimplified, not to me. OverSimplified. I'm just saying this now, so I wouldn't have to get copyrighted later for saying that I didn't, or saying that I really don't want to get copyrighted on. Anyways, goodbye.